Rubik's Master has to win not only one best of 5, but 2 back-to-back best of 5s against XXRUBIXMASTER to take this victory against an opponent he has never defeated before. This is going to be an incredible story if he is able to overcome all those odds.
And ITSAXN, as you can see, made 7 straight top cuts, including last year's World Championships. Yes, he did have a poor performance at the North American International Championships, but I think the 7 straight top cuts is more of an indicator to how good of a Pokemon Go trainer he is. And once again, he is on the winner's side of this grand final. So even if he loses the next series against Rubik's Master, there will be one more series.
Yeah, and looking at Rubik's Master, yes, the resume may not be as long, but he is in the grand finals of World Championships. You do not need a long resume to prove that you are one of the best in the world. If you don't know Rubik's Master, you will know of his name after today.
And only one of these trainers can become a legend and claim that title of the 2023 Pokemon Go World Champion. Let's break down these teams because this is where it gets very interesting in this matchup. I said before, Rubik's Master has that Shadow Quagsire, has that Defense Form Deoxys. Almost no trainer had that in day number 2. And he has heavily relied on those Pokemon, not just in day number 2, but specifically against ITSAXN because it protects him so well against that Shadow Alolan Sandslash.
Yeah, and looking at that Deoxys defense form too, there's very few things that check it on XXRUBIX's side. It has so much play against everything on XXRUBIX's team except for that Purified Sableye. But Rubik's Master took that into account. Has the Umbreon, has the Azumarill, has a lot of neutral matchups with Quagsire, Registeel, and and Altaria even. And so because of that, he's not afraid of that Sableye. XXRUBIXN has to play a bigger gamble by bringing the Sableye to check that Deoxys defense, which frees up a lot of matchups for Rubik's Master when he brings that Deoxys defense.
We are locked into game number 1 of the grand finals between ITSAXN and Rubik's Master. ITSAXN leading the Lantern. This is a very smart lead because it's so neutral against Rubik's Master's team besides that Shadow Quagsire. As we peek at the backline, it's looking fairly neutral. You just don't want to face that knocked out into the Registeel of Rubik's Master.
Yeah, you see the quick Psycho Boost. I think Rubik's Master is going to dip out. Switch advantage is pretty important, but actually bringing in the Umbreon, this is going to set up XXRUBIXMASTER really nicely because XXRUBIXMASTER knows that now you have a chance to lock in that Sableye into that Deoxys defense.
And there's no answer to Safe Swap Umbreon on ITSAXN's entire team. Nothing really hard checks it. Yes, you have the Medicham that can counter the Umbreon at times, but if you can get a Snarl, 2 Snarl advantage, you can win that 0 Protect Shield matchup. And there's no Medicham on the team of 3 for ITSAXN, so had to bring out that Best Buddy Noctowl.
Yeah, and actually, I keep forgetting this, but Rubik's Master bring that spicy moveset of Psychic on his Umbreon, which really hasn't come into play too much, but it is a nice opportunity to potentially get a debuff against certain matchups.
Yeah, maybe that could be useful in certain matchups just to get that debuff, but otherwise you're almost always going to be going foul play here because you don't really want to touch that Psychic because it's not same type attack bonus, but imagine a play where you go for the Psychic into a Protect Shield and get that defense drop, and now this Umbreon is in a tough position. Decides to no Protect Shield. Can it endure? Oh. Yes, it does endure and pivot out. Did it bank a move, Caleb?
It banked a foul play and swapping right away to that Deoxys defense instead of throwing the foul play. And here comes the Sableye. This is the matchup that XXRUBIXMASTER wants. Getting this locked into this ghost type is going to spell trouble for Rubik's Master.
And Defense Form Deoxys has been so strong because of its fluid nature. It can bounce around the battlefield, throwing Psycho Boost, swapping out, and having no hard counters. But it's XXRUBIXMASTER, one of the few trainers that had the Sableye in day number 2, able to hard counter. But look, has to give up a Protect Shield against the Deoxys because it's getting so low. But look how much energy is going to come out of this matchup. It's at 100 energy right now.
Sableye having the coverage of return and foul play. Almost nothing resists both of those charge moves, making this energy so valuable, and is now going to come in with the Registeel to soak up all this energy.
This is where Registeel struggles. It's almost impossible to deal with all these low health Pokemon on ITSAXN side. You have that foul play banked. Here comes the next foul play into the Registeel. No Protect Shield onto this one. The Registeel is going to have to completely sweep the back line. And no, there is no combo play, but
no
you can't lock on down This
Oh,
Sableye, there
here
it
it
comes.
comes.
And no,
Oh.
the Shadow Claw registers and knocked out the Umbreon before it could use the foul play.
Yeah, Axen's Shadow Claw going through on the switch, meaning that that Shadow Claw damage is actually transferred over to that Umbreon, making it impossible for it to throw that foul play. Really spelling disaster for Rubik's Master.
And now Rubik's Master is having to protect shield on Noctowl that's extremely low health. It's almost at another Shadow Ball. And this looks like it's going to be a 3-ball flex for ITSAXN. I'm not quite sure if this one will knock out, but this is the weakness of Registeel. It can't deal with low health Pokemon, and ITSAXN took advantage. The 3-ball flex in game number 1.
3 Pokemon left and still a shield. A dominant performance from Axen. I think it would have definitely changed if Rubik's Master was able to get that combo play off, was able to get that foul play. But swapping there is so risky because if you swap it just a half second off, you're swapping in on a Shadow Claw rather than at the start of the next Shadow Claw.
This game all came down to me, in my eyes. It's this talented trainer, innovative team, trying unique strategies against this seasoned professional that has seen it all over and over again. And in this situation, he just has Pokemon remaining at low health. It's just impossible for that Registeel to deal with here. And this Deoxys defense form is just going to be met by the Sableye. And this is exactly what Rubik's Master didn't want to see in the matchup. That was crucial, actually. The Shadow Claw registered while the swap was happening. It takes a turn to swap in Pokemon Go. So then the Shadow Claw, which is a 2-turn fast attack, did register onto the Umbreon, knocking it out, wasting the energy. Then ITSAXN finishing off this Registeel with a 3-ball flex.
Yeah, it is not a game of seconds. It's actually a game of half seconds. One
Right.
turn is only half a second. So literally Rubik's Master has to make a half-second decision on when to swap there. It's so tough to pull that off. And, you know, if you just go for it, it's a 50-50 call. Unfortunately, it did not pan out for Rubik's Master. Interesting enough, yesterday, Axen versus Rubik's Master. Axen apparently led Lantern in the lead all 3 games because of how safe it was into Rubik's Master's team. You really only had to worry about that Shadow Quagsire.
Yeah, and in this situation, it's really hard for Rubik's Master to just bounce around with that Deoxys defense force like he did in that game number 1 if Axen is going to show that he's playing Sableye. Does Axen decide to sit this Sableye in game number 2 and go with the more neutral picks? And we are locked into game number 2. Remember, this is a best-of-5 series between ITSAXN and Rubik's Master. And we have the lock-in, we have the leads. It's going to be, this is exactly what Rubik's Master has been doing all tournament long, locking in this Deoxys defense form into Metachams.
Oh, and this is about to get from bad to worse. Here comes the Noctowl into the Registeel. Registeel is in such a strong position. This Noctowl really has nowhere to go into this team of Rubik's Master. And not only that, but the Metacham doesn't have a lot of places to go with the Altaria and a Deoxys defense form waiting for it.
Yeah, this is going to be extremely tough to come out of, but ITSAXN actually already protecting the Zap Cannon, so deciding to invest in a negative matchup. Maybe he's going to try to bounce around the battlefield, try to dance around a little bit, throw this Shadow Ball, and maybe get a Protect Shield. I doubt there's a Protect Shield. No Protect Shield out of Rubik's Master. I think ITSAXN is going to double down and try to pivot out.
Yeah, I believe so. Going to double shield and get a lot of, save a lot of health on this Noctowl, but the problem is, how do you take out the Altaria and Deoxys defense with no shields remaining? Rubik's Master has so many options on taking out that Metacham, whereas Axen has very little places to go.
And you actually might get the Protect Shield here with the Shadow Ball. You don't want to just let this Registeel go down if you are Rubik's Master. Do you get the Protect Shield, clutch Protect Shield to keep this Registeel around and try to get to a move? And there comes the pivot. The dance around did work, but this isn't terrible. You got a Protect Shield back, and you're so much healthier on your Noctowl.
Yes, but the Registeel still has energy, and Rubik's Master still has a shield remaining. I mean, the tough part for Axen is he spent both shields, is down a shield, and still doesn't have switch advantage. Usually in those situations, your odds of winning are really, really small. Losing shield advantage and switch advantage is a terrible spot to be in.
And that's why Registeel has been the king of steals lately. You saw a switch into Galarian Stunfisk in this tournament and to Shadow Alolan Sandslash, but it's so strong against that Noctowl, against that Altaria. Here comes the Psychic. We've seen trainers do this. Even though it is resisted, gonna go for it. Maybe try to get the defense drop, and you're not in double Ice Punch range anyway, so you need to land a Psychic, and then you need to land an Ice Punch, but I don't think you're gonna get to do so.
I don't think so either. That Psychic is going to do a little bit more damage than Ice Punch, despite the fact that it's less efficient. But Axen realizing that he's not going to get to that second, that final ice punch is going to go for the psychic
Wow,
instead. And
the overcharge here.
Overcharge,
What
yeah.
a call by RUBIXMASTER to think that ITSAXN is going to go for the spark down. Could have wasted all that energy if Lantern decided to go for a charge attack there, but instead pivoting out into the Altaria here, he's going to be able to take a Thunderbolt. There is one Protect Shield remaining, and he actually uses his last Protect Shield of the game. This might be his most efficient Protect Shield, though.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that was a really smart Protect Shield from RUBIXMASTER. Another Thunderbolt is going to come through, but look at this Altaria. It's generating so much energy, and it has a ton of health still remaining. And, you know, reverse situation from last game. Now RUBIXMASTER won with 3 Pokemon remaining still, and this Altaria is starting to chew away with the Dragon Breath, and here comes a hard-hitting Moonblast.
Yeah, this is not same type attack bonus, but it does more than the Sky Attack, but it doesn't knock out the knockdown. There is no defense drop or attack drop there. Can you go for the Shadow Ball? Decides to go for the Sky Attack instead. Actually, one Shadow Ball will do more damage than the Sky Attack here. Deciding to go for the Sky Attack, you're surely going to get knocked out soon unless you want to save this for later, but you can't. You're switch locked, so now RUBIXMASTER has the 3 Pokemon remaining.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe he went for the Sky Attack so that the Lantern can farm a little bit of energy. You need energy for the backline matchups, but the Deoxys Defense still has another Psycho Boost loaded, and Reggie still has energy. Now here's the combo play we wanted to see, and here comes the Deoxys Defense with a Psycho Boost. A 3-ball flex coming out from RUBIXMASTER to respond to game number 1.
Right back at you with the 3 Pokemon remaining. RUBIXMASTER with a dominant game number 2 victory, and this is how he's been so successful this entire tournament. He's been able to align that Deoxys defense form into opposing meta champs, and then having that Registeel to counter the knockdown. Even though ITSAXN made it kind of close in the end, there was still a Psycho Boost waiting on the Deoxys, and then a full charge attack waiting on the Registeel. So a pretty dominant win for RUBIXMASTER to tie up this series.
If you watched game number 1 there and you thought, wow, there's no way Axen doesn't take it all, this is why RUBIXMASTER is still here. If he has any doubters, he is trying to prove them wrong in this game number 2. Incredible plays from RUBIXMASTER, weaving in and out of these matchups, saving energy on different Pokemon, and knowing exactly his win conditions. Remembering that he has that Psycho Boost banked, and also knowing that he hangs on here, is able to get as much value out of his Pokemon as possible, chipping down the Switch Timer and the Lantern at the same time with that Sky Attack to secure the combo play.
I like in these situations, even when ITSAXN is losing, he has the smart play to throw the Sky Attack instead of the Shadow Ball, because his strategy is he actually wanted to keep that Altaria around so he could get a spark down and then maybe call a combo move on the defense form Deoxys and surf it on charge attack priority. But unfortunately, you would need double surf in that situation. But even when you have tough alignment, I love when the trainers try to do every little thing they can do to win, because that momentum often comes to be a factor in this next game that we are locked into. Game number 3 of these grand finals. And now the Medicham is led against a much better lead, the Registeel. But I don't consider Medicham a Registeel counter, but RUBIXMASTER does. It actually safe swaps Altaria.
Yeah, not afraid of that Shadow Lone Sand Slash on Axen's side. I think that's a great call, because Altaria is actually really hard for Axen to deal with on the safe swap. Bud does pivot over now to the Noctowl, and RUBIXMASTER really needs switch advantage in this situation to be able to flip this matchup, because you do not want that Sableye on the Deoxys defense. And I think RUBIXMASTER thinks it's going to be in the back, because it's one of the hardest checks to the Medicham.
That Sableye is looking so strong in the back with a Protect Shield advantage. Right now, ITSAXN is up 2-1 with Protect Shields as he lands this Sky Attack. If he's able to knock out this Altaria, this Sableye is going to be so strong. Here comes the Sky Attack, and actually does devote a Protect Shield on this Noctowl to try to finish off the Altaria.
Let's see how RUBIXMASTER responds. Does he shield and spend the final shield to try to fight for this alignment? You can see Axen trying to build up to 2 Sky Attacks, and actually is going to swap over to Registeel. Switch timers are misaligned, so RUBIXMASTER is able to get out of that matchup a little sooner than Axen, forcing Axen to throw some of that energy, but it's still locked in this matchup. You can see Axen trying to get out of that matchup, and here finally comes that Metacham.
And he banks the Shadow Ball as well. ITSAXN displaying his patience, not just to overfarm against the Altaria, but to bank up another attack as he swaps into the Metacham. And now, once again, this Registeel is in a clunky scenario because you're not going to be able to lock on down. It becomes so awkward in these situations. This is going to be a resisted Psychic, so it's not going to be doing that much. Can you get the counter down before the Focus Blast is available? The Focus Blast is going to be coming up first.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a huge Focus Blast. Axen lets it go. This is huge because now RUBIXMASTER has switch advantage. The real question is he going to read that Axen has a Sableye? And Axen shows the Sableye. This is huge for RUBIXMASTER. Yes, Sableye with energy is useful, but now he knows that he needs to take out the Sableye with the Altaria to have a chance. But here's the thing. You can call
in the swap!
Catching a foul play on a DX defense. Definitely an interesting play from RUBIXMASTER.
Well, he agrees with you that he needs this Altaria around to be able to take out the Sableye here, but that's tough. That's super effective, and this Sableye in the back with the energy advantage is so dangerous for RUBIXMASTER. Already at the next foul play. Looks like he's just going to go for the Shadow Claw down. He's going to probably no protect shield this. ITSAXN is going to let it go and try to bank up 2 foul plays.
Yeah, and Axen's Sableye is going to win charge from priority against Altaria. I don't even think Altaria has energy for the Sky Attack, and it does not. And the Knockdown still has a Shadow Ball and Sky Attack loaded. So this is going to be really tough for RUBIXMASTER. We talked about combo plays, and another combo play might be coming, but no, the Sky Attack's going to come out first.
And the Protect Shield comes up for ITSAXN, but ITSAXN has the foul play banked up in another commanding victory for ITSAXN in game number 3 to put this series at 2-1.
Momentum has shifted back over to Axen, and this is a pivotal game number 3 because now Axen is only 1 game away from becoming the world champion. RUBIXMASTER needs to win this next game to force a game number 5 to have a chance at getting that title.
If ITSAXN wins this next game, he will be a North American international champion. He will be Portland Regional Grand Champion, and then, of course, he will be the 2023 Pokemon Go World Champion. He can taste it. He is so close, just 1 victory away. And RUBIXMASTER, can he climb back into this series? And the crucial part of this game was the Sableye in the back. I love this swap because this defense form Deoxys is not going to do that much for you in this situation. You said it yourself. You need the Altaria. You don't need the Deoxys. So just trying to soak up as much energy as possible. But unfortunately, put it in a situation that he got all that energy right back.
Yeah, for those watching at home wondering why you would catch a super effective move on that Deoxys defense form, the reason being RUBIXMASTER knows that there is a Shadow Ball and a Sky Attack worth of energy loaded on that Noctowl. If he decides to shield and staying with the Altaria, the Noctowl is just going to come in and combo play and throw a Sky Attack and waste that shield. That shield will mean nothing for the Altaria. Unfortunately, because of how positive matchup Sableye is into Deoxys defense form, it still was able to get enough energy to make that matchup in the back end for Altaria really tough.
This is a situation RUBIXMASTER is extremely familiar with. He has lost 2-1 to Axen 2 times and lost to him 3-1 once. Can he break through? Can he shine in this moment? Can he put all that preparation and love for Pokemon to work in this game to try to reverse sweep back, win 2 games in a row, and reset this grand finals?
This is the biggest game of RUBIXMASTER's career right now. His back is against the wall. He needs your energy if you're a RUBIXMASTER fan because he needs to figure out a way to force a game number 5, to force a chance at this bracket resets.
And does he bring the Shadow Quagsire that's been so useful for him? He talked about how much coverage it has between the Mud Bomb and the Stone Edge. Or does he bring his other water type in Azumarill, try to play those neutral options to try to dig his way out of this hole? And we're locked in to game number 4. And it's going to be the Shadow Alolan Sandslash into Altaria. You see the crowd roaring because that's such a dominant lead. And an instant swap to meet the Umbreon.
Axen was ready for this Umbreon. This is the lead Axen wants, but the game is not over yet because Azumarill is very strong into the entire team of Axen right here. Yes. Oh, and you see the RUBIXMASTER going for the Psychic, trying to get a debuff. RUBIXMASTER needs his debuff to have a chance in this matchup, and it is not going to come through. but still getting some meaningful damage in that situation.
He has another chance. Maybe he thinks going straight psychic is the better attack in this situation instead of foul play. If he gets the 3 psychics, he could flip the matchup potentially. Does the psychic get the debuff? Not this time. And suddenly, wait a second, Caleb, wait a second. A little bit greedy from ITSAXN, having to give up a protect shield against this Umbreon, and now he's gonna have to counter down, but he's gonna have so much energy.
Yeah, I think RUBIXMASTER might let this Altaria go. Yes, the 2 Ice Punches are going to do a lot, but you need to bank everything on that Azumarill, and I think that is going to be the play for RUBIXMASTER to have a chance in this matchup. And catching the ice punch on the Azumarill, saving the Altaria for later.
This is exactly what RUBIXMASTER needs. He is far behind right now, but he's climbing back into the battle. And now the Shadow Alone Sandslash is being brought out so you can protect the Sableye from the Azumarill. This is huge for ITSAXN. You're going to be able to resist all the charge attacks from the Azumarill, and you actually got a protect shield already.
Yeah, but that's a huge shield for that drill run. It is going to be the most damaging move that can be thrown from this Shadow Alone Sandslash. And do you get 2 shields on this Azumarill? You need to keep the Azumarill healthy. No, going to let the second drill run go.
Yeah, and now how do you throw your timing? Perfect fast attack alignment here. Throwing the play rough is resisted, so ITSAXN is going to go ahead and no protect shield this situation. If you get the Azumarill low, you can even Shadow Claw down. I believe the Metachamp has a little bit of energy, but probably can't get to an attack. Here comes the drill run, getting the last protect shield of the game from RUBIXMASTER.
RUBIXMASTER is banking everything on this Azumarill, but the Altaria is still in the back and actually going to throw the double resisted Ice Beam. This is going to chip it out. I don't think it's enough to knock out the Lone Sandslash, but you might put it in bubble range for a farm down.
Or Dragon Breath range. No, the swap.
No, swapping in with the Sableye. This is going to be a really tough position for XXRUBIXMASTER. XXXRUBIXMASTER is going to shield. The question is, can this Altaria get to a Moonblast in time to take out this Sableye?
Oh, it doesn't have much energy. It's going to be a race to charge attacks here. And look, it's going to be the return that's going to be able to land on this Altaria for ITSAXN and knock out this Altaria. There's only some health left on the Azumarill, and ITSAXN is going to be able to Shadow Claw down, and he will become the 2023 Pokemon Go World Champion!
ITSAXN, the most decorated Pokemon Go player in history. And history will repeat itself, taking out RUBIXMASTER yet again 4 times against RUBIXMASTER in their matchups. And what a dominant performance from XXXRUBIXMASTER this entire season.
I saw on social media, ITSAXN called Wadaj the GOAT, but I think officially ITSAXN is the greatest of all time in the championship series for Pokemon Go.